Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when you're watching this video. In this episode, we are taking an epic ride on the Blue Train. Sorry, not that Blue Train. No, I'm showcasing you today in this episode the Metrorail commuter train for everyone. That's way more affordable. But anyway, let's dive into this episode. Cue in the jingle. So in this episode, basically, we are taking a ride all the way from Cape Town's main train station, all the way through the Southern Line to Muizenberg, but the line ends all the way in Simonstown. Yeah. So on my previous videos, I have shown you basically all the public transport options that you have in Cape Town, be it my city bus, be it a cab, be it a taxi, even an airplane, but I haven't really showed you basically what a local train ride looks like in Cape Town. So these are actually updated trains from the yellow and grey Metrorail trains, which were dingy. I think it was the late 80s, 90s design. But now they've moved into like a newer version. I think these were actually around 5 years, I think, but less than 5 years old. So yeah, basically today we're just going to take a trip basically from one side of Cape Town to the other, just to show you how the train ride looks like and also what areas basically that they go to. There are also actually various lines that they use. So you have different lines actually that are used. So for example, you have the Southern Line, which is basically the one that actually we're going to be taking today, starting all the way from town to Muizenberg, but it goes all the way to Fishhook in Cape Town. So if you want to visit especially the beach areas on the other coast of Cape Town, so this one basically was the best one to take. And then we also have what you call basically the Central Line, which currently now is actually not being used because during the COVID-19 era, some people actually built their structures and houses on the railway line. So they're still trying to get that one back online. Oh, hey. Hello. This is actually me on the editing desk. I just want to correct something. Is that when I was shooting the video, the Central Line was still not active at the time, but just a few weeks ago, actually, it has since been introduced and it's running smoothly as far as I know. So currently now all the lines, apart from the Mitchell's Plain one, is not running, but yeah, the Central Line to Khayelitsha is open and running. So anyway, back to the video. And then we do also have the two northern lines. One actually is to Belleville, and then the other one I think goes towards the Athlone commuter side. And then we also do have one that's actually announcements coming in.
Road safety, please keep train doors closed and do not lean against them during the journey. Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of the announcement. So also again, then we also have one that actually goes all the way to Malmesbury, and one that actually goes, one of the northern lines actually does go all the way also to Stellenbosch, Franschhoek side. So if you're there for wine tasting and you want to take a train ride, you can, but again, those are very limited. You can also actually get more information actually on train times online. They are available. So one thing also about these newer trains, as you can see, they're all over here, is that not only they are very full and efficient, they remind me actually of those Bangkok trains where you can actually see from one end to the other. That's a nice thing about it, because the old design, it was separated carriages and things could happen there, especially if you're stuck in a carriage and you're all alone. Whereas this one, first of all, there's security guards and police are always patrolling the trains. Also here, previously, one of the biggest problems was train surfing, and where people would ride the trains with doors wide open. So these new ones would never actually move while the door is open. It has to close. And also inside, they also have info boards basically that shows you where the train.
Safety announcement. For your own safety, please do not walk or run next to a train whilst it is in motion. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, then you have also all these safety announcements that are happening. So another thing is actually that you see here inside these trains, actually, it's also the info boards where they always announce basically where the next station is and also what station you're currently at. And then obviously all the doors, they have beeper sounds basically that you see. So the green obviously means the door is about to open, and then the red means the door is about to close. Also, if you look on the info line, also it will tell you basically which door is going to open. So in case you're not sure which platform actually you're going to be stepping out of, depending on which station that you're at. So also in terms of accuracy, the trains actually are quite accurate. I think so far it's only like about 5 minutes where they'll be off the expected times, but yeah, most of the time they're very accurate. In fact, we literally just missed the train that we're about to take now by a few seconds. It was literally gone, but the thing is because at the main station they did not have the boards up. I'm not sure whether because it's public holiday, but yeah, we got left behind. So now we're waiting for another one that's coming in about, I think, 30 minutes from now. But the station also, if you remember, there was an ad that was shot. I think the ad is a lunch bar called Obvious. It was also shot here. So basically I'm just going to quickly show you around, turn the camera around so you can see a bit of how the station looks like. Yeah, so it's another train, and then we have the residents. Actually right above us, this is actually where also the taxi rank actually in Cape Town is based. So the nice thing also about the Cape Town station is also how central it is when you get to it, because when you get out you have the long distance buses which are also situated right here, and then if you cross the street basically, which is called Strand Street, so this is basically where, if you look at the history of Cape Town, this is actually where the beach used to start. So basically another interesting fact coming actually about that, where we're currently at actually, if you were here in the early 1920s and also a little bit of the 30s, you'd be at the beach, you'd be literally at the water, but they did push it out in the 30s. So everything that you see actually behind, like the Civic Center building and all those, that was actually, it would have been underwater if you were here in the 1930s. So yeah, now basically again, so it's Strand Street. So across Strand Street, that's where the bus station is, and then right above us actually, that's where the taxi rank is, which is called the deck. So yeah, if you really need to go anywhere around, use any other public transportation, basically it is around here. So when you leave basically the station, you'll also be going into what we call Golden Acre Mall. So it's actually, I think it's the oldest, it is the oldest mall that is still exists in Cape Town. And the interesting fact about it is also how there's an entire mall actually underneath the ground, basically at the train level and below. Then also this is basically where basically the city center or downtown actually of Cape Town is actually currently situated. So yeah, let's show you more basically of the train ride and where we're going. And yeah,
and the time had finally arrived for us to board the train. It was then open sesame. I don't know why I'm talking like that. But anyway, it was time for us to board the train. As you can see, the trains look nice, they look clean, and the trains are air conditioned. So if outside it's cold, inside it's going to be warm, vice versa. And from there on, it's time for us to find our seats, and then actually you can even look from one end of the train all the way to the other, and there's also the information board. But now it was time actually to leave the station. As you can see here, you can actually see that thing that says there's always light after at the end of the tunnel. Literally there was light, And here you actually get to see the iconic Civic Centre building in Cape Town. But then as we cruise along, you also get to see the old trains, some of them which are burnt, which is a reminder basically of the past. Then you also get to experience some beautiful stations as you go along the city of Cape Town. One of my favorites actually, which is Woodstock, and you'll see here this building which was built in 1901. It's actually one of those nice landmarks that I actually get to enjoy whenever I'm on the train. And and also on the southern line, actually, you get to see a bit of graffiti. And there we're passing the N2 road. I'm approaching with the Mowbray station. Then, yeah, inside, that's why you need to have your tickets. So here you have your security, which are checking your tickets. And then as we're hopping along here, we're passing the iconic Newlands Cricket Stadium. So on the right-hand side will be the rugby stadium, but here's the cricket stadium. This is where the other team was caught playing with the ball. Yeah. But yeah, this is the iconic Newlands Stadium that you see along the way. So there's actually all the stations, they literally almost look the same, but each has its own unique style. And here, this is actually the bridge that eats all the trucks, just like the 4-point-something bridge in the US. And right here is the destination, which is the Muizenberg train station. Very nice, it's iconic. And the nice thing about it, actually, all the way from Muizenberg to Fishhook, most of the stations are situated at the beach, and you just walk. Also, the train, you get to have a nice view of the beach, as you can see just across there, the station. So here you can see how it's actually quite old, but it's still kept nice and clean, and you even see the cannons that were used as part of the signal. Signal shots at the time. Yeah, but yeah, this is basically how the station looks like. And then there is a tunnel that actually goes just underneath the station, and then you'll find all the restaurants and also the iconic Muizenberg beach on the other side. But for us, we finished actually what we came here for, and it was time actually now to go back. And you can see the train arrived, and literally it arrived right on time because it was freezing cold. And then something funny actually quite happened here, which is why you actually need to be vigilant all the time when you're trying to board the train. So as you can see, there we are, okay, trying to rush for the door. So the train opens, we're like, okay, what's happening? Why is this door not open? Turns out it's jammed. So it was time now to leg it to find an open door. And then as we board the train, so you see here that there's that constant red light. So that means actually that particular door is non-operating. So yeah, it was actually a quite funny story. But it was not funny because we were panicking at the time because we didn't want to be left behind. But yeah, as we cruising along back now on the track to Cape Town, not on the road this time, but on the train track. You can see how the trains look, the beauty inside the trains. And then you also have like this Constantine things, which they also, I don't know what they're called. Buses also have it. And then you also have the rules. There's quite a lot of these all over the train. So as you can see, the trains actually are fairly clean. And also very quiet and smooth. Well, obviously apart when it's changing. From one rail to another. But yeah, it's such a very nice experience. They're actually also quite air conditioned. So even though ideally now I would like it for it to be warm because it's quite cold, but it's quite warm now. So yeah, this is basically what the inside of these trains look like. And also the fact that actually you can see from one end to another. It's interesting. So that's one end there, and then the other end all the way on another. And this is basically what a typical station look like. So they're still fairly old. The stations haven't really actually. So the chime that you're actually hearing, that's basically when the door is opening, and this one means the door is closing. So you have to be very quick while when you're embarking and also disembarking. And another thing actually that as I was talking about the stations actually are all,
think it's still like a very 70s, 80s design. So the stations haven't really changed. The trains have. Other stations still the same. Yeah, so I think in that regard, they still need to do quite a lot of like infrastructure upgrading. But the trains, for me, it's a very welcome trip or site, basically. So another thing.
Thank you for traveling with
Okay,
Metrorail. Please mind the platform gap.
So another thing actually that you need to consider, especially if you are traveling through the weekends, is that most of these smaller stations, they're closed. So this means you might have to board the train without paying. Then you'll have to pay at your destination, or sometimes the conductors actually will be collecting money throughout the train. So you just need to be prepared, because at any random time they also do ask for tickets and all these things. Just need to show them. But if you're here for a long time, I recommend that you get a monthly ticket or a weekly ticket, because it's way, way, way cheaper. I mean, it's already cheap anyway. It's actually the most affordable form of transportation. And then that's basically the doors about to open there. There we go. That green flash means the door is opening. And then when it hits red, obviously it's closing. So in terms of traveling, I still think actually it's the most affordable that you can find. I mean, to travel from Woodstock or to town to Wonderbush, which I think it's a 5-10 kilometer distance, and it's $4.50. I'll put here how much that is with the dollar and euro. But yeah, it's actually quite interesting. So I don't know whether if you're in Joburg or Cape Town, sorry, if you're in Joburg or Pretoria, you can also do quite a lot of where you get to experience this. But this one is purely actually for the Cape Town leg, basically, of the experience. So yeah. So if you've never tried the Southern Line, please make sure actually that you bring a friend, you bring a camera or a family member. It doesn't matter who, where you can actually, for just under 20 Rand, you can get from one side of Cape Town all the way to the other, where you actually get to see the city in full and also end up in a nice, beautiful beach with nice, colorful huts where you can actually get to enjoy the sun. But at the time of recording this video, we are in midwinter and it's raining, but who cares? We love the beaches anyway. This is Cape Town. But please make sure that you do like this video, comment below, and basically what has been your favorite part of this video actually, and also what do you think about the new trains in South Africa. This has been On the Road with Lwando, and I'll see you on the next one. Keep exploring and stay curious. Bye bye.